Okay, so get this top trans bolt. You gotta cut through here. It's right there, as you can see it's loose. But to do that, you're gonna want to come through there, right up through that little bracket there for that exhaust. So I just cracked them loose. I let it drop enough to where you're not tearing everything apart. This is the hardest part of this entire project, these top two bolts. And then for me, these exhaust bolts, I'm gonna have to cut them. Okay, a little hard to document every step of the way, but up in there is one of them really extremely hard bolts to get. I lowered that transmission down just by taking the mount out and letting the bracket that holds the exhaust touch the cross member. That gave you about 4 inches of clearance. Got up in there with that real long bastard, about 3 foot extension, 15 millimeter. Now I'm having issues with these bolts. Can either pop them manifold studs out of there, or I'm gonna burn them heads right off of that with a torch. Here's your motor mounts. Each side there. A little rough to see, no light. But note to self, this intake was extremely rough to get to. As you can tell, the starter's right underneath there too. So if you ever have to do a starter or an evap purge solenoid, good luck. You're gonna have to take this intake off. This front bolt and that rear bolt, 10 millimeter, were extremely hard. To do it easier, you take the computer off and you know, you could take the alternator off. You could sneak in there with a shallow 10 millimeter 1/4 inch drive with a swivel, and it seems to come out, but you know, it takes some time. But you know, it's up to you. Do you want to take a belt off and an alternator off and play games with all that, or do you just want to try to sneak in there? I snuck in there. Noteworthy, while I was in here, I noticed the evap line wasn't hooked up and this one was broke. I bought this car to put an engine in and sell, so I'm glad I found that. That's probably why the evap code was on. Moving forward, as you can see right here, that's one of the CV axles. I don't know if you can get to the other one here, but it's in there. Those both have to be removed. And then after that, this is coming up and out of here. The most noteworthy points to this, the most difficult things, as stupid as it may sound, were them two little connectors there. I got big gorilla hands, so it was a little rough for me to disconnect those, but got them off. Definitely the intake. That's gonna take some time. You know, if you have a little electric 1/4 inch ratchet, I bought it after I did this. I'm gonna put it back together with that. It would help a lot. You know, and up front here, all this came out pretty easily. Bunch of 10 millimeters and 13 millimeter bolts. Wasn't nothing to talk about, just came right out. I kind of got sidetracked in that last video here. I had the tool kit for this big nut, couldn't find it. Took me a little bit of time to take this rad out. I pulled it out from in it. I'm gonna get on my other shop. I think I took it down there to do another job. So you got that big fan nut wrench. It'll come right off. That gets this out of the way. That saves you a lot of time. You know, you can see I have this valve cover off. When I first diagnosed this, it sounded like something was tapping up top. I thought it was the VVT pulley here. Couldn't be that lucky. Took it apart, started it up with the valve cover off. Obviously, I had to put the intake back on, and still was ticking. Didn't come from here, so something internal. Have yet to see what it is. Sounds like a rod knock, but it's high. Sounds like an upper end tap, you know. But yeah, really, the most time-consuming parts of this job are taking the wheels off, which I haven't done yet, and taking the spindles out so you can take the CVs out, and getting to them top 2 bolts and the intake bolts. Other than that, really wasn't a bad job. Once you take his front off, everything's here. Your power steering bolts are right there. You know, alternator here, I unplugged it. I'm gonna get down in there, take off the power wire to it. But it's just getting things out of the way, really. That's what the name of the game is for pulling this engine. They put a lot of stuff in the way, and a lot of bolts were rounded off. A lot of bolts are rusty. You know, the airbox was stripped out. That took a little time to draw that out. But other than that, decently straightforward. I'm gonna get back on here when I start pulling it. All right, so I caught a lot of you on some of these videos taking all this apart. I popped that top ball joint out, literally just touched this, it popped right off, no tension, smooth. And then I went up in here, pulled back on this, while I simultaneously pulled on this axle right here and shoved it back into the boot. And as you can tell, I got it to lay right there. Don't have to take it all apart. Don't have to play games. Same thing over here. Nice slip out. If I had to, I could pop this right back in to move the car out. So, just noteworthy. Don't take apart more than you have to. Check and see while I'm in here. Seemingly everything else is ready to rock. I'm going to throw a chain on this baby and see if it'll come out. Oh, you gotta love when shit disappears. There it is. There we go. Up and away. Another bolt, hidden bolt. Yep, you know how they do. All right. Not quite. me out. Stuck on a couple things. Okay. Of course, wouldn't be an engine job if the transmission lines didn't try to come with it. That goes. This up here so it don't get destroyed. Yeah. All right, 13 millimeters in check. Now I've got to find the damn ratchet. Here it is. You know, it's statistically proven that mechanics spend more time trying to find their tools and shit than doing the work. The job ain't what's hard when your tools run away from you. That's the hard part. Oh, and another thing, you are getting gashed up. If you don't get a gash per job, you ain't doing it right. My opinion, you can do whatever you want. A little bit for that friggin' plug. All right, I'm not really seeing anything to make this come out. Oh. Not sure what kind of experience anybody has with these cranes, but do not try to grab this and move it with it that high in the air. It will tip right over on your ass. Get it as nice and easy as you can. Get it over here. Lower that down. Now we got a nice center of gravity here. You can tug on it all you want. I seen it, man. Some guy yanked on that, tipped over, threw him like a doll. So, here we are. This is it. Bloody as can be. It's that bullshit. I think I should probably replace that seal. See that? That goes right through that oil pan. Ridiculous, man. Here we are here. Oh. Save that for the new engine. Looking good. See how that is? Putting this back in, I'm gonna probably have to take these mounts off. I can foresee it. Sneaking that in there is not gonna be as easy as taking it out. But here we are. That's it. Game over.